Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Nai. You are listening to Eaton Radio, and I'm here with a special guest today, Cecily. Welcome, Cecily. Um, so let me give you a quick introduction. Well, let me give everyone else a quick introduction about who we have here today at Eaton Radio. Cecily is a vocalist, a songwriter whose fluttery and soulful soprano sound is rooted in mid-century soul and jazz. She's received SoulTracks Readers Choice Awards nomination for Best Female Vocalist of the Year and an Indie Soul Music Award for Best Female Artist of the Year for her 2019 project, Awakening Part 1. Her 2018 album, Songs of Love and Freedom, garnered her a 2019 WAMMIE Award for Best Soul Album and was named Best New Soul on Bandcamp. She's an experienced voice teacher, my voice teacher as well, and certified in Somatic Voicework and trained at the Shenandoah University's Vocal Pedagogy Institute. She's performed at the legendary Blues Alley and Apollo Music Café, amongst other iconic and historic venues. And she's DC's very own Cecily. Hi, Cecily. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for being here today. How are you? How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I've been a little sleepy the last couple of days, but I've had some really good moments just being creative and digging in, finishing some creative projects, so it feels good.
Yes, that's good. I'm happy that you're here. And so I'm kind of just going to like ping pong between playing some of your music and then asking questions, having just a bit of a conversation so people can get to know you more, know what inspires you, and what drives your music. But before we get started, maybe just like really quickly, if you kind of just wanted to share a little about who you are and what your sound is.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I am, like you said, I'm a DC native, and I would say my sound is rooted really in soul and jazz. I think of I always say my favorite albums, almost all my favorite albums came out between 1974 and 1978, very specifically. And I really just love that sound. I love like a soulful sound that also blends with jazz, also blends with rock, also blends with folk. And I feel like there's so many artists who were doing that so perfectly at that moment. And I also like a sound that's live, of, real people in a room making music together. That's how I like to do things still, even though, it's expensive and not many people do. But that's how I like to do things when I can. And I mean, thematically, I'm always kind of going around different themes of different kinds of love, like love of self, love of nature, romantic love, familial love, love in society and what that looks like. And so that's kind of how everything comes together. It's just rooted in soul music and kind of different themes of love throughout.
I definitely get the themes of love, and I wanted to talk to you about that a little bit more as we get further into the conversation. And of course, like jazz, folk, soul, it's like that's what I get from anything that I hear from you. So, I want to know, what is your creative process like? How do you approach creating music and a song? Do you prefer just kind of sitting individually and creating, or do you prefer like more of jam session vibes? Like, what does the process look like for you?
It's funny, I'm actually working on a new album right now. And so I've been asking myself that a lot, like, what does my creative process look like? And I think it really depends. Most of the time I have an idea come to me, and I usually get lyrics and melody together. And it's funny, I was actually listening to a podcast yesterday about like it was discussing whether creativity has its own consciousness that we just kind of tap into. So I feel like some of it is just about being open. And I try to stay open through walking in nature, reading other people's work, listening to other people's music, meditation, like even going to museums. I feel like anytime when I'm not on my phone and I'm just present in what I'm doing and I'm around art, that's also part of the process, like just being open. And then from there, sometimes I'll sit down at the keyboard, but I'm not really a good keyboard player. So and sometimes I try to sketch out some chords if they come to me. Sometimes not. Sometimes it's just lyrics and melody. So I usually co-write. I usually bring it to one of my friends and say, hey, let's build on this. Someone who plays better than me, basically, saying, yeah, I have these like 3 chords. Can we make them more interesting? Can we figure out where this is going from here? And then from there, we kind of build, and we might listen to some references and, talk through ideas, try different things, be like, nah, that didn't work. Come back to it. So it's really just like, I feel like it starts with just being open. And then from there, calling in the right people and getting on the same page and just letting the music grow where it wants to grow. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, okay, let's play another song. This is a song called Clumsy, and it's from your second album, Awakening Part 1. I think it was Songs of Love and Freedom first, and then Awakening Part 1. So this is Clumsy.
Please forgive my clumsy fingers.
myself. I don't love myself the way I should.
That was Clumsy by Cecily. Cecily's here with us today. Hi, Cecily. That was Clumsy from your album Awakening Part 1. And I kind of just wanted to pull some lyrics from it and talk about it. Yeah. To be with you, I must first be myself. I can't know you yet if I don't know myself. I can't hold you yet if I can't hold myself. Can you talk to me about what you were thinking when you wrote that song, where you were just in your journey to love and acceptance of yourself?
Yeah, this album, Awakening Part 1, was mostly inspired by a book that I read called How to Love by Thich Nhat Hanh, a Zen Buddhist teacher. And in that book, he has really simple vignettes about just like what love is and what it should be, basically. And he has like a exact quote in there where he says, if you don't know how to love, you will wound the person that you love. And when I read that, I was like, oh, I want to write a song about that. Because I think it's so true, right? Like a lot of times we want to be in a partnership with someone because it feels good, you know? But that doesn't mean that we've healed enough parts of ourselves to not hurt that person, whether unintentionally or intentionally. And I was writing these words like maybe a year before I got married. And I was also reading these books like, you know, exploring love in these different ways because, you know, it's just like when you want to get it right, you know, it's like we study so many things. Why not study love? Yeah. And so I was examining like mistakes that I've made, you know, and in past relationships, in the beginning of that relationship as well. And that feeling of sometimes not wanting to let go of people from the past that it's time to let go of simply because they made you feel, you know, needed, or they gave you just enough to keep you kind of holding on to them in some way. And even though you have something new that's better, you're not ready to let that go, even if it's just emotionally, because you still don't love yourself enough to realize that that wasn't enough. That's really where it was coming from. Like me realizing, okay, I met this person who I actually think is my life partner, but for some reason I'm still thinking about this other dude or that other dude or whatever. And why is that? Like, oh, it's because they gave me just enough, you know, or they hurt me a little bit and they didn't apologize. So I'm not ready to let go or whatever it is. And just like processing all of that, that was kind of like where the song came from. Yeah.
So you would say like a lot of the self-love journey and self-accepting also requires a lot of letting go of past relationships, maybe past versions of yourself that allowed yourself to be in relationships that maybe was enough to, you know, keep you there, but not fulfilling in a way, or recognizing of your full self, or just kind of like meeting fully what you need or felt like you deserved.
Yeah. I'll add to that, like, I think definitely you do have to surrender. There's a letting go. There's a forgiveness of others and of self that has to happen. I think truthfully, like you can have multiple soulmates in life. Like you can meet people that you have a very strong connection with where you know, oh, I've known this person in another life, but it doesn't mean that that person is your main person in this life. And it also doesn't mean that whatever is left unfinished is supposed to be dealt with in this lifetime. It still might not get finished, and that's okay. Like just because there's a strong pull there doesn't mean it's supposed to be like, sometimes things are supposed to feel easy, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. And I feel personally when I listen to your music that you put a lot of yourself and just like your own journey into your lyrics. Would you say that that's what you aim to do, or is that kind of just something that just comes to you in the creative process?
It's both. It really is both because I think like when I write, I'm primarily writing for myself always. Like I'm writing to heal a certain part of myself, to get something out of my mind that I need to get out of my mind, to teach myself a lesson that I'm in the process of learning. Like that's always why I write. Um, I've written some lyrics where I'm like, oh, this is way too personal. I'm never gonna perform this. I'm never gonna release this, and I always do. But I almost always do. But it really starts off with like, this is for me. But I also think that in songwriting, like, there's a million different ways to say something, and the only real way to say it is how you would say it, you know? So it kind of, in songwriting, just in general, it always has to come from the personal experience. So it always has to come from the thing that only you know, that moment that only you had, you know, but that speaks to a feeling that everyone knows. So it's like being able to pull someone into a memory or feeling that they have shared with you, but you do that by being specific about your own experience. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes me think about the humanness of music, and I think about that specifically because of just the introduction of AI and music that wasn't written by humans. And so pulling from actual memories and experiences that are authentic to who you are, and writing it in a way that can connect with people who may never known you, but it's a human experience. So there's a lot of commonality in that. And I think that's super, super important in music. And I feel like you can feel the difference, you know? I wanted to ask you, what brought you to music?
I have no idea. Like, I always loved music. As a little kid, I really liked music. I've always loved music and words. So I think it was only made sense that I eventually became a songwriter as well. But I just really liked, when it comes to singing, I always loved how singing felt. Like that was my initial attraction to it. Just like, oh, I like how this vibration feels in my body, you know? And I think that's still my like main connection. That's what keeps me anchored while I'm singing, is I just love that feeling of the song or the whatever it is, the vibrations just moving through me. Um, I mean, I grew up in a house where my parents played a lot of music and they really loved music. So I think naturally I was just around it. And I took piano as a kid and I never really liked it. And, you know, I started singing and I was like, oh yeah, this is the thing I like to do. I didn't know that was going to be a career. Like I got a whole degree in political science that I've never really used. Yeah. But I think eventually I realized, like, when all the other things that I was thinking about doing didn't feel aligned anymore, I realized that music did feel aligned. And so that's just, even though I had no idea what the path would be and it was kind of like uncertain and a little scary, I was just like, F it, I'm going to do it. So here we are, however many years later. But yeah, that's how it started.
And you talked about growing up and hearing your parents play music and some of your favorite albums coming from like 1974 to 1978. So who would you say are your like music pillars, the people that have really been integral to you finding and creating your own sound and style? Who would you say falls into that foundation?
I think for me, when I think about music pillars, for me personally, there's a few people that come to mind, and it's probably not the people that people think I'm going to mention, but that's fine. Gil Scott-Heron is one. DC. He's actually not from DC, but he lived here a long time, and he had a whole life in DC. Yeah, I think he's from Tennessee originally, and then lived in New York for some time. But yeah, definitely a citizen of DC. Yeah. But yeah, Gil Scott-Heron, I listened to a whole lot growing up, especially his album Winter in America. And that was a project that when I first started like making music, I referenced a lot, and I just listened to a lot of his music and tried to dissect like, what do I actually love about this? You know, like what production elements are happening, what instrumentation is here, what's not here, you know, how is he using words and rhythm? And so that was someone, when I was writing like Songs of Love and Freedom, I was listening back to a lot. And actually there's a Gil Scott Heron cover on that album. I forgot. I actually covered a song for Bobby Smith on that project. And another one is a less well-known artist who I really think should be more well-known. His name is Terry Collier. And he's an artist who put out a project in 1974 called What Color Is Love? And that's an album that my mom, both my parents, but my mom in particular, really loved and would play a lot. And I just loved there's something so intoxicating about his voice and his guitar playing. Like when I was talking about like that combination of like soul, folk, and jazz, that album is just, he does it so well. And when I first started performing more and, you know, being out on the scene and doing my own thing, I would cover a couple of his songs. Haven't done it in a while. Well, actually, it's not true. I actually covered one of his songs on Valentine's Day up in Baltimore. I forgot. But yeah, he's just one of those artists who, like, sonically, I'm like, oh, what is going on here that's so special, you know? Like, I want to make that kind of magic happen. And then maybe one that is more, what am I going to say? More expected, because people always say I sound like her, is Minnie Riperton. Yeah. And you know what's funny? Like when I was growing up, my mom listened to a ton of Minnie Riperton, but she was not my favorite. I actually love Shaka Khan. I was a huge Shaka Khan person. Shaka Khan and Anita Baker. Those were like my two like vocal mainstays, you know? But when it came to me like being like an executive producer of my own music, I found myself really going back to Minnie Riperton stuff. And specifically like the Perfect Angel album and of course Avengers in Paradise, and like trying to figure out like what were her and her husband doing here that was like so cool, and like with Stevie Wonder and Leon Ware and just like all these amazing people. Like it's kind of like being a music detective, you know, when you're trying to produce your own stuff, you have to go back to your favorite stuff and really figure out like what is making it so magical. And sometimes you can't put your finger on it. It's just magical, you know, but when you're trying to make your own magic in the studio, those are the people I find myself going back to a lot. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I do remember the first time I was introduced to your music. I was introduced to you through a mutual friend that we have. And I was like, from like the first 30 seconds, I was like, she sounds like Minnie Riperton. Yes. So I'm sure you do get that a lot. Yeah. But when did you first start performing music? And do you have like an early memory of you performing that was kind of like, okay, yeah, I could do this?
You know, it's funny. My earliest memory is definitely the opposite. My early memory of performing is my very first recital when I started taking voice lessons. And I wanted to sing, I was taking classical voice, so I probably should have been singing like a classical song. But my teacher asked me what I wanted to sing, and I decided to do this jazz number. This jazz standard. Which one was it? It's not All of Me. It's, no, I can't remember. But Nat King Cole has a version that's really good. Ella Fitzgerald's version is really pretty. It's just a song my mom used to play a lot. And my memory is standing there feeling like I couldn't breathe. that's my memory at like 12 or 13 is feeling like I was hyperventilating, honestly, because like that was my first time performing solo. And I remember literally feeling like every breath was like like that. Like that's my memory. But somehow I didn't give up. Yeah, that's my earliest memory of singing in front of people. But I pushed through that, obviously. And I did a lot of choirs and stuff in high school, and luckily my choir director was super, super dope, and she just gave us lots of opportunities to sing all different types of music. And so, later in high school, I also performed like solo stuff and at the cabarets. And another horrible memory I have is singing "The Greatest Love of All" my junior, senior year of high school, and my voice cracking at the high note. It's just, but that's why I tell my students a lot, like, the only way to practice performing is just to do it, because you can't simulate those things. My voice had never cracked on that song before, but in the heat of the moment, yeah, your voice might crack because you're all tensed up because you're not used to performing. So it's funny, the ones that stick with me are the ones that felt like, oh God, I never want that to happen again. And you have moments like that, but I think when I moved back home after college to DC, and I started trying to get onto the scene here, and up until that point, I never really sang jazz like that. But all the musicians I was meeting at the time were jazz musicians who were inviting me to go to jazz jam sessions. And I was like, oh, I actually have to know jazz standards. So I started learning some and started teaching myself some and trying to get used to just, not only knowing the tune, but it's not like learning a pop tune where you just learn it down in the same key and that's it. Like when you learn a jazz standard, you have to figure out what key you want to do, what tempo, what feel. You have to be able to call all that out. You have to understand the changes so you can listen when people are soloing and know when to come back in. And you have to know how to cue the ending of the song as the vocalist, like all these things. Like, it was really like a crash course, and it was really good for me to like learn those things at that time. And yeah, I just kept performing, luckily.
Yeah, I'm glad you kept performing. So you kind of mentioned musicians that you've played with, and for your shows, when you are doing them here, when you're traveling across the country or abroad. I know you did a show in London as well. Talk to me like about your bandmates, how you met them. Do you work with like the same musicians, or is it kind of like different each time? And how did you kind of get involved with getting to know them and learning and being able to kind of like share music and share like inspiration and stuff?
So the majority of the people I play with most often, I've been playing with for almost 10 years now, which is really, really nice because they really know the music and I don't have to think about it. Like, I can let them lead. Whereas sometimes when I travel out of town, I can't afford to bring my band. I have to hire musicians there. And it's really hard for me to get into the moment because I not only have to be the main performer, I also have to be like the music director, band leader on stage, like cueing different things, So I love when I get to perform with my guys. I don't have to think about it because they know the music like that. And that's really a blessing. So it's definitely my preference to, when I can charge enough at the gigs to just fly everybody out, that's what I'll do. But I'm also grateful, like, DC has a lot of quality musicians. So even when, one person can't make this or that, I always know at least one other great person I can call to fill those shoes. But when I do get like my little core group together, it feels so, so good. Yeah, it really does.
So on the topic of like what is inspiring your art, you talked about like just being out in nature, living, going to art museums, and then other artists who have been a pillar in your foundation. Are there any artists like currently that you've just been really loving and really been taking inspiration from lately?
Yeah, I mean, here and there, I love Willow. I love Willow. That Empathogen album is probably what I listen to the most. I can't remember if it came out 24 or 25, but that's what I listened to the most that year. Symptom of Life was on heavy, heavy repeat. And again, one of those things where I'm trying to break down, okay, what is the sound of this piano and why is it so intoxicating? That kind of thing. And also just like, I really admire her level of musicianship at such a young age. Like, obviously she grew up doing this, but it's also obvious that like she been studying, like she been shedding, as musicians say, and not just vocally, but like on bass, on guitar, on drums. Like I've seen her play all different types of instruments. So I would say I'm a big Willow fan. And I'm actually going to see her for the first time this year. I'm excited. Me and my family are going to the Montreal Jazz Festival in June, and she's going to be there. That's one of the reasons I wanted to go, actually. And I also love, I don't know, I mean, she's current. Yeah, she's current. But I will say I fell in love with her in my early 20s, so it's been a minute. But Leanne LaHavis, I'm a Leanne stan. Yeah. I've seen her every single time she's come to tour in the U.S. I've seen her. Really? I've never missed her. About 5 times. Yeah, I love Leanne LaHavis. I'm kind of like in love with her, not only just like musically, but the way she plays guitar, her singing, and also just her. I love that she never gives us too much. Like you go to her Instagram, very little there. She's an old school artist, like she's not giving us the day in the lives. Like she might give us a picture once every 3 months and like we're happy about it, so yeah, those are 2 people that come to mind who I really, really love.
Yeah, great artists. Let's get into another song then. This is I Am Love. That was I Am Love by Cecily. This came from your album Awakening Part 2. And that was an 8-track album, your most recent project, I guess, 2024. So, yeah, can you talk to me about what Awakening Part 2 as a sequel to Awakening Part 1 was? I think you mentioned that it was heavily inspired by Bell Hooks, All About Love. And I love All About Love. Bell Hooks is one of the authors that I'm trying to like collect all of their books in my personal library. So I'm at 4 right now, but
I think I also have 4.
yeah. But for me, All About Love was transformative. She talks about a love ethic, moving away from just like individual love or just looking at love as a one-to-one romantic relationship, and more of like also relationships with friends, relationships with family, relationships to community, and love as a practice. So can you just talk to me about like what that book meant to you and why it inspired a lot of your work?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with transformative. It was definitely transformative. And when I was picking up books to read around love, I started with How to Love by Thich Nhat Hanh. I read a book called The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. And then I picked up All About Love by Bell Hooks. And whereas How to Love took me like a month or less to read, you know, The Mastery of Love took me like a month or less to read. All About Love took me a year. Because it's the kind of thing where you read a paragraph and then you have to stop and you have to think about your life. You know? And I just as I was reading it, I already knew I wanted to like write music about it. And I think that like it really pushed me like in that way as a songwriter, because you know, I'm used to writing songs about self-love and romantic love. That's usually what I write about. Mm-hmm. And this album was also talking about, like, how to respect the earth, you know? How do we create love in our families? Like, how do we treat children? You know? All these things, like, very, very fundamental things, but just taking love away, out, like you said, out of this little box of romance, right? And talking about it like at the most universal level that we can talk about it. And that really pushed me as a writer to say, okay, how do I write music about taking care of the earth? How do I write music about not beating your children? You know, how do I write music about, you know, forgiving and learning how to move through like family issues and things like that, you know? And that was not easy, but it was like a good exercise to do as a writer, and I'm grateful that I did it, and it made Awakening Part 2. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a great song, and it's a great album. Every song on that album kind of touches on love in some shape or form. I'm going to backtrack just a little bit and talk about Awakening Part 1. That album came out and you also had a visual album with it, right? Can you talk to me about like what kind of, and like what brought the idea to you to do a visual album? How did that kind of come about? And then what was it like working with the videographer and I'm guessing maybe like costume designer, or just all the different pieces that go into it, all the different things that people are bringing, and how does that vision come to life for you?
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest project I've ever done, and thankfully it was more of a collaboration piece between me and the director, whose name is Terrell Siobhan. And it started out as her messaging me and saying, hey, I really like your music, and, you know, I'm a director. I'd love to just sit down with you and talk about possibly working together. I was like, okay, cool. And this was like maybe a month or so after, not even a month, maybe a few weeks after the project had come out. And so I met with her and we started talking, and what first started off as, yeah, let's do one music video. Once I talked to her through the songs and how the 4 songs on that EP kind of like evolve in their storytelling and their understanding, and moving from this space of like clumsy, right, where nothing's really solidified yet, into the last song, which is Acceptance, right, which is about like coming into a state of like really accepting yourself and everyone else, and creating love for them, like a space of grace and love. And when I explained that to her, she said, I feel like we should do like a short film, like where we take pieces of all the songs and you really see like a relationship move through all of that. And I was like, that would be dope, you know? I was like, I ain't got no money, but we can try to figure it out. And we did. She had a whole team that she brought on. We got investors and, made a full schedule, met with costume design, hair design. I was so used, and even now I'm so used to being so DIY, like for the I in Love music video, I had a great director and videographer. But, I did the costume design, and like it was just like working with Terrell. She had all the people and all the things. And so it was it was a great learning experience for me of like, being on set and on different locations and also getting comfortable with just like all these different costumes and things. And it was really dope. And like, I'm really proud of how I came out. I think we released, it's funny, we're at Eaton right now. We did the premiere at Eaton in the cinema here. Yeah, we like sold tickets and did like a talk back afterwards, and I did a little performance. It was super dope, and it was a really nice way to engage community. This was literally, we released it like Valentine's Day 2020. So like a month later, everything shut down. Yeah. So I had a lot of stuff that like was kind of built up around the promotion of that project. And I just wasn't able to do a lot of it, but because everything in the world shut down. But, that's how life is. You just flow with it. But I'm really happy that we were able to do that project, put it out in the world, do events in DC and New York and Richmond around it. And it was just like a really dope experience. I'm really proud of that piece of work.
Yeah, it's an amazing. You guys should check out. It's on YouTube. It's really good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I liked all the beautiful Black people that were in it. I like the natural hair. I like the flowers and foliage and dresses, and yeah, it came together really well. I guess this kind of unfolded itself in front of you, but are there other creative endeavors like beyond just audio music releases that are on your horizon or you're thinking or you would like to be involved with?
Yeah, I do definitely have like visuals come to me. Like that's what happened with the I Am Love music video. I had an idea in the shower one day and I had to like hurry up and get out so I could like put it in a voice memo and like write it all down. And that kind of became the video for that. Similarly, the project I'm working on now, like a few weeks ago, I just woke up and was like, oh yeah, I have at least 2 shots for the music video, and I just wrote it all down. So I definitely feel like it's like a world building thing, and I like the fact that like I always tend to think collaboratively, even though I can be very DIY. But like on this project, like I want to bring out my friend who's a visual artist and makes textiles and does lighting design. And because her work is it just meshes so well, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're meant to do this thing. So I'm excited to be able to do that. The problem with film is it's so expensive. So usually I can only do like 1 music video per project. So I kind of have to pick and choose which song and how far to go with it. But I definitely do tend to think in like visuals. And I also have been experimenting over the years with like more long form like writing projects. I started like a novel a few years ago that I know. I don't know if I'm not going to say that. I will eventually finish it. It's still in progress at the moment, but it's it'll happen. But there's lots of things I always, as a creative, I want to do. I think I tend to come back to music, and I just pause everything else. But, yeah.
A novel is exciting.
A love story at that.
Oh, no surprise there. I love that. Let's go to another song here. This is called Domination. Domination, Love is Free by Cecily. Let's talk about the song Domination. Some of the lyrics are: domination is a disease, abandon ego, abandon greed, love is free. I feel that that's very timely song. So I wanted to ask you, living here in the nation's capital, does our current political and social climate impact your music? And yeah, let's talk about that.
Most definitely. I think this was a song I was talking about earlier, that when I was writing Awakening Part 2 and kind of grappling with the things that Bell Hooks brings up, this one in particular felt tricky to write. And I kept feeling like it was too wordy, or maybe it wasn't saying enough. And I think there's a lot of pressure on artists to be socially relevant and impactful, you know, and you know, I respect a lot of artists who have done that. Like I mentioned, Gil Scott-Heron. I was a child, I was a huge Lauryn Hill fan. Like I adored Lauryn Hill, still love her. But, you know, I think of her in that same vein, you know, not afraid to touch on the issues of the day in a insightful way. And so I wanted to do that here. And I actually, you know, I really felt like when I was writing it, when I wrote these lyrics, it was during the first Trump administration. And I really imagined myself kind of writing to him. And at the time, also President of Brazil, Bolsonaro. And there was just a lot of things going on. And I kind of just, if I, this is the thing, like, I've come to a point now in my understanding of, you know, the way that life works. And I don't feel the need to convince people of anything, right? I feel like people have come to this lifetime to have the experience that they're going to have, to learn the lessons they're going to learn, to play the role they're going to play. And some of these people come to this life to play the bad guy. And, you know, and yeah, and so whatever lesson they're going to learn, they're going to learn. I'm not going to change it. But I still feel like, you know, there's a part of me that came to this lifetime to be able to recognize in this earth plane, like all the things that don't work as well, all the things we need to abandon. Like I say, abandon ego, abandon greed, because truly it's coming from, and I think this is where, you know, I find myself when I'm writing, I try not to turn people into villains. I think the point is that we're all the same. Like fear can turn us into so many things. The lack of love can turn us into so many things. And actually on the album, the song has a prelude or interlude right before it where I say that, like, the lack of love can truly, you know, turn us into a different type of human being. And so I try to really think about instead talking to people's higher self. Like the higher self understands these things already. And like, maybe we can get through to it if we are trying to convince someone, you know, like maybe we can remind the soul that like they don't need to live in fear, because greed comes from fear, right? Like fear is the opposite of love. So we know that greed comes from fear. We know that ego comes from fear, all these things. So if we can work on creating not just what Bell Hooks calls a love ethic, right? But also, I think in a lot of ways, if we can work on creating like an energetic field of love, right, that just is with us at all times, then everyone we interact with is touched and moved by that in some way. And so they might abandon their ego for a little bit, you know? They might feel the other side of that fear that they're stuck in. And I think that's the ultimate message of the song. It's not, I mean, I'm talking about a lot of things that, you know, I want to do away with, like, you know, destruction of the environment and, you know, economies that aren't set up to actually allow people to thrive, all these things. But at the end of the day, I really just want us to choose love. Like it's not about being caught up in a mentality of oppression. Like you can know that the systems are not designed in your favor and still decide I'm choosing love. Like, I want to live my life through love and with love and enjoying the beauty and the joy that's around me, even if I know that these systems are here to oppress me, you know? So I think that's the ultimate thing I'm trying to say through the song is that, like, we all just want to be free. We all just want to feel liberated and love and enjoy our lives, you know? So that was a long answer. I did not know I was going to say all that. But yeah, I'm just thinking about all this because the current album I'm writing is really about our connection with Source and, like, truly kind of almost rising above all of this, right? Like, yes, okay, there's not enough money to go around. That's not right. You know, we shouldn't need money to survive, you know? However, man, it's so beautiful today. You know, like, both of these things can be true at the same time. I guess that's what I'm saying. And that we can always connect to Source, God, Creator, whatever you want to call the Creator. Like, we can always connect to that in any moment, and that is our true power. So, yeah, it's interesting talking about domination because it would be hard for me to write that song now. Like, I feel like I'm in a different place, just like mentally, spiritually right now. Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, talk to me about the project that you're working on. Yeah, talk to me about. Yeah, you have. Yeah. So I want to give you the floor to talk about your upcoming project, and also how do you connect to Source?
So the new project is gonna come out sometime next year. It's called Indigo, and yes, it's called Indigo. For anyone interested, I am launching a Patreon campaign very shortly. If anyone wants to kind of be along for the ride, behind the scenes wise on the project, but this project is really about, like I said, connection to Source. So indigo is the color of the third eye chakra, right? So this is really about, like, inner wisdom. It's about knowing the things we already know. Like, the society teaches us that, you know, we need to be anxious, we need to worry, we shouldn't trust life, you know, all these things. But when we reconnect to our inner wisdom, we know that none of that is true. We know that we're always supported, we're always guided. We know that, like, everything can work out and is trying to work out for our highest good if we see that vision and we allow it. And so that's really what the album is about. Like, it's about the fact that we are supported. We're never alone. We just have to be present in our life experience and present with Source, and, like, everything else falls into alignment. That's really what the project is about. And how do I connect with Source? So, I mean, you know, when I sing, I feel it. That's why I love singing. I love singing because, like I said, like, when I'm performing with my people who, like, know the music and we're locked in, you know, I feel that flow move through me, and it feels so good. Like, it's very healing. It's very invigorating. Like, I always feel good after I perform, you know, it gives me, like, a little bit of a high. And then also meditation. Like, I've been trying to meditate more. This project really started germinating in 2020 when I was meditating a lot. And so in the process of, like, trying to finish it, I'm also trying to return to that meditative practice more so. And I can't remember the quote exactly, but Thich Nhat Hanh always said something to the effect of, like, peace can be found in a single breath. And I find that so true. Like, I sit down on my meditation cushion and I just breathe in and I think in and out, and, like, my brain feels happy. Like, I don't know what it is, you know. Also, being in nature, going for walks, and, like I said before, like, all those things, they ground me and they keep me connected. I think also, like, I've let go of doubt. Like, I used to allow doubt to come in to my energetic field and into my mind more than it ever needed to. And so now, like, we're talking about inner wisdom and trust and knowing. Now when I know things, I just allow them to be known. I don't have to have proof of anything for anyone else. I don't have to, find a way to prove that it's true. Like, I know it's true. Like, when my ancestors send me a message, I hear the message. I don't have to tell someone, oh, this is why I think this is just like, no, I know this is the way, and allowing myself to be guided that way, and just trust in the process. So yeah.
Thank you. I think you're touching on something really important. Like, and just like now I feel there's so much misinformation, disinformation. There's just so much like bad mindedness, like, and to be connected to a source that feels true, that feels definitive, that feels like directly to you, I think is important for people to find guidance in. And I love the name Indigo. It kind of like correlates to me to a lot of like Black Southern root work and hoodoo and stuff. Indigo is a very important color in that realm. So I'm seeing the vision. I can't wait for it. Do you know how many tracks it's going to be?
10 to 12. It's looking like 10 to 12.
Okay. Well, if people want to, we got one more song, but I want to go ahead and close out because I think we're at time. But if people want to follow you, if people want to keep up with your music, and see wherever your next show is, how can they find you? And is there anything else you want to plug?
Yeah, so I think show-wise, if anyone's in the DC area, I'm going to be opening for Tank and the Bangers at the Lincoln Theater on June 19th. I'm really excited about that. And if you want to follow me, I'm less active on the socials at this very moment just because I'm kind of incubating all these ideas and things for the album. But I am planning to be more active posting-wise on there shortly. And you can follow me on Instagram or on TikTok or both at Cecily Alexa, which is CeciliAlexa. And if you just want to listen to my music, you can find my music on all streaming platforms as well as Bandcamp. And if you want to order my merchandise, you can find that on my Bandcamp page as well. And my artist name is just my first name, Cecily. Once again, that's Cecily.
Thank you so much, Cecily. And yes, guys, if you do anything today, please go to Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube or Bandcamp. We love Bandcamp. We love to pay artists directly. And listen to Cecily's music. It's been wonderful to just watch you from afar and to catch any shows that I can. So thank you for coming and dropping by. And we're going to end with one other song, but I'll be here. I'm here at Eaton Radio every second Thursday of the month. My name is Nye. So tap in and find some new music, find some music you already love, and hear from other artists. So this last song is Your Idea of Beautiful. Thank you, guys. Peace.
We've done it all before. just wanna be a beautiful, your idea of beautiful. I just wanna be a beautiful. Can I be your beautiful? Just wanna be a beautiful every day. 2 months till I see you again, and still I'm willing to let you in. Been craving the depth of your voice and the spirit in your hands. Can't seem to find your flaws, ignored your mistakes, burned every inch to you, and let my ego win. All because I just